Hi everyone, this is Elaine. Welcome to Flat Earth for Dummies 101. Definition of dummy: indoctrinated in globe from birth. A spinning globe is only true in fairy tales. Only the truth will set you free. The lies were out to get me, to feast upon my brain. Freemasonic wormholes were to blame. Then I saw the way. Now I'm a flat earther. There is no curve, no globe in my mind. The earth is flat. We're the believers, don't eat the deceivers, those who lie.
Globe propagandists claim that refraction has this amazing ability to repeatedly remove the curvature from long-distance filming to present a false flat Earth, all without visible effect, or how refraction somehow bends mirror-reflected sunlight, lasers, and light around the curvature of the Earth so that it only appears like the Earth is flat, or that gravity or air pressure at any altitude or speed automatically causes an airplane's nose to continually dip down to compensate for the curvature, or that all of the layers of the atmosphere stick to the Earth like Velcro without any effect from the rotation of the Earth, or that a balloon like Felix Baumgartner's can reach 128,000 feet for hours and actually speed up to keep up with the rotating ground below it and then slow down as it descends to land where it started, or how propagandists explain away the fact that a high precision mechanical gyroscope indicates neither rotation nor curvature due to some unknown natural correction to the gyroscope. Nature sure is hell-bent on tricking us into believing the Earth is flat, isn't it? This brings me to my research on Guglielmo Marconi, and thank you Flat Earth Brothers for originally pointing this out. If you didn't know, on December 12, 1901, Marconi received a transatlantic radio signal at a distance of 2,135 miles. We're talking about a curvature drop of approximately 527 miles. Mount Everest has an elevation of 5.5 miles. The curvature drop was nearly 100 times bigger than the elevation of Mount Everest. Many people told Marconi that he couldn't send a signal more than 200 miles due to the curvature of the Earth, as shown right here in this article. Surprise, surprise! The curvature wasn't a problem at all. So what happened? Because of Marconi, the Ionosphere was created. On December 12, 1901, Guglielmo Marconi and his assistant George Kemp heard the faint clicks of Morse code for the letter S transmitted through wires across the Atlantic Ocean. This achievement, the first reception of transatlantic radio signals, led to considerable advances in both science and technology. It demonstrated that radio transmission was not bounded by the horizon, thus prompting Arthur Kennelly and Oliver Heaviside to suggest shortly thereafter the existence of a layer of ionized air in the upper atmosphere, the Kennelly-Heaviside layer, now called the ionosphere. In 1902, Arthur Kennelly and Oliver Heaviside independently proposed the existence of an atmospheric layer of ions that conducts electricity and reflects radio waves. Kennelly published his ideas on March 15th. Heaviside's hypothesis went public on December 19th. The layer is now called the E region. Both men came to their theories by observation of the movement of communication signals across long distances. Kennelly, an academic and consulting engineer for the communications industry, noticed that Guglielmo Marconi's reception in Newfoundland of radio signals sent from England was much better than radio wave theory could predict. Marconi, however, had no explanation for why the curvature of the Earth did not stop them from moving across the Atlantic Ocean. Kennelly guessed that a layer of ionized gas high in the atmosphere was reflecting radio waves and extending their ability to propagate. Short-wave radio waves might enter the ionosphere, but longer waves would bounce off it. This property allowed them to curve around the Earth and beyond the horizon. At the same time, Heaviside, a largely self-taught British physicist, came to a similar conclusion. The only reason the ionosphere was introduced into science was to explain away the lack of curvature. Now, of course, mainstream science claims that the ionosphere is a proven fact based primarily on the tests of Edward Appleton. But wouldn't the ionosphere render radio telescopes useless, maybe? What about the NASA communications to Apollo astronauts? What about ISS live stream transmissions? What about bouncing lasers and radio signals off of the moon? Most of this alleged radio bouncing off the ionosphere occurs in coastal areas. So why can't I bounce a radio signal off of the ionosphere over the Rocky Mountains? It should be easier to bounce a signal off of the ionosphere over the Rocky Mountains than to bounce a radio signal over the Atlantic Ocean. So why isn't this commonplace? Since Guglielmo, the distances have gotten only further, but only between coastal cities that would be in direct line of sight with each other on a flat Earth. Can I state with 100% certainty that the ionosphere doesn't exist? No, I can't. Some flat earthers would even claim that it's the dome. But don't you see the pattern here? We have a major problem with the globe, and the globe propagandists immediately come up with a comical theory to save the globe that is somehow unquestionably accepted.
So they project the image around the ball, and that's how they came up with the globe.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
That's why it's so hard to convince you you've been fooled.
I thought the globe was more or less a given thing. The more I saw, the more was fake. Was the moon a junkyard, the ISS a sham? When I wanted answers, I got spam. Then I saw the way. Now I'm a flat earther. There is no curve, no globe in my mind. The earth is flat. We're the believers, don't eat the deceivers, those who lie.